something that is so divisive, this should be a forum to have these kind of conversations and learn from it to implement better solutions for our community, better solutions for our schools, and teach the things that we should be teaching, and being welcoming and being open to hearing other sides of the story, being open to diversity. I mean, this is a very white community, so I think one of the things that we need to focus on and understand is that since we are such a white community, we need to hear other voices. We need to understand other voices, and we need to also take into upon ourselves to understand what can we do to make it better for our children going forward, and make sure that they are also building a welcome and inclusive community. And that's all I have to say.
Michael Rapco, 25 Old River Road. I don't want to talk about the resolution. You had enough support. You heard about it. But we have one other issue on the agenda tonight is the comprehensive plan. John Flaherty mentioned it quickly. The last time we did a comprehensive plan 10 years ago, we spent multiple months with public hearings, a lot of activity, a lot of feedback. Let's not rush through this project tonight and rubber stamp it that we have to live with it for 20 years. Let's make sure that we go through all the sections and we address all the issues for the taxpayers of North Smithfield. The second issue I have tonight is about the solar overlay district with green development. I wish we had this audience for the development when it came before the council. The council was sort of led to believe that this project would be 60 megawatts, hundreds of acres. All of a sudden in the paper this week, the project's been reduced to something under 40 megawatt, and the town is not going to get over 400,000. They're going to get maybe 275,000 a year. A big difference. I think the swing vote, if green development was honest, they should have told the council during the process there was a possibility that they would reduce the project so they wouldn't have to go to New England Power to get their permit. They don't have to go to New England Power if they stay under 40 megawatts. But if they go to 60, then it's a long, expensive process. So they might have known this was happening all along, but they weren't transparent with this council. So now we're stuck with less revenue and a smaller project, and we upset a lot of residents when they heard the size of the project originally. The second issue is the wind turbine that was supposed to be built by Green Development and WED on town-owned property that we bought with open space bond in Darwin Village. The question I have for the council, and I wish it'd go to the solicitor, is who broke the contract to build that wind turbine? Was it Green Development or was it the town? If it was the town, okay, we'll get an explanation from the solicitor. But if it was Green Development, now we have a real serious transparency problem, because now we're going to have to work with this developer for those hundreds of acres at Waterbury Hill. So I think I would like the council to consider addressing these issues to the solicitor so that we get answers both on why did Green Development not tell the council they were going to reduce the project. We should have told us ahead of time. And the second one is, who was at the fault for not building the wind turbine at Darwin Village? Thank you very much.
And I am a 31-year resident of the town of North Smithfield. I would like to take a few minutes of your time to defend Nike and their use of Colin Kaepernick as a spokesperson, but more importantly, as a role model for freedom of speech. Mr. Kaepernick has been peaceful in his protest for social justice and has never been disrespectful of good individuals in the practice of law enforcement. He has, however, been adamant that those who have perpetrated violence on those of color be held to judicial standards as they should. He has never incited violence, but rather, in a perverse way, he has been the subject of it. for his part as a role model for social justice, and in his defense, he has lost almost everything. Certainly, an NFL contract for taking a knee. Personally, taking a knee is more respectful than burning the flag. But under the Freedom of Speech Amendment, we all have that right too. My husband served in Vietnam and has always reminded me that this is what he fought for, namely, to protect our rights under the Constitution. Mr. Beauregard has the right to request that the town council pass the resolution. But I would like to ask each and every member of the council if that is how we want our children to remember us. The town that felt the need to punish Nike and to disrespect a person of color for kneeling for what he believes in. Certainly, the vast majority of us in this town have never been subject to racial profiling or social injustice. But let us all remember, but for the grace of God go I. And if Mr. Beauregard wants to protest, let him do so in silence by not buying Nike products, but not by setting the precedent that we ask the school department and other departments not to buy their products. I generally don't buy Nike products just because I don't like them, but I might consider it now that Colin Kaepernick is taking a knee. And lastly, I have never been more embarrassed than I am at this moment.
Hi, it's Stephen Hoyle Jr. The junior is important, there's more than one of us. I'm an old white guy, so I'm going to take the old white guy's view and share it with you. I joined the Marines, voluntarily joined the Marines in 1966. I feel confident in stating that I don't think there is anybody in this room that loves their country more than I do. I didn't say I do. I said I don't think anybody does more than I do. I think if we took a poll, everybody in this room would say and be truthful that they love their country very much. So I'm not here to defend this guy's freedom of speech, his right to protest, any other rights guaranteed to him by the Constitution. I think it's ridiculous to think we'd have to have a forum to defend those types of things that are automatically given to us all. I'm here to try to figure out what is this guy doing to the country that I love. I found as I've gone throughout life that we can spend a lot of time trying to get the answer correct without ever thinking about the question, about getting the question correct. And the question is, I think only, what is he doing to my country? It's got nothing to do with black and white, nothing to do with the right to protest. It's about what is right and wrong, what is good and evil. Now, I've done brave things throughout my life, but, well, let's examine for a minute what has he done. He had it made. He had his picture on posters. He had all kinds of money. He had fame and recognition. So what did he do? He gave that all up to disrespect the country? How can, let's, for the moment, try to put emotion aside and just use logic. He did not throw that all the way to disrespect the country that I love. He recognized real and valid, terrible injustices It doesn't have anything to do with black and white. It has to do, can you examine facts? There are things definitely wrong in my country that I love. And he was willing to take a stand and identify those to try and get more people involved to correct them. We're here trying to pick sides if we should vilify him or if we should give him his right to protest. Isn't it strange that perhaps the truth leads us to admiring and respecting him instead of vilifying him? Recognize what he is willing to give up and sacrifice, never for his own betterment, but only to better others. I think that guy has done braver and more self-sacrificing things than I ever assumed I would do or have done. He is somebody that we should respect and admire and listen to the points he makes and determine which path we walk. Now, I understand how people can vilify him because we hear all these one-line sentences of hate, and we love our country. Oh, wait, is somebody destroying the country I love? But let's just take a moment and examine what he does, what he gave up, and determine if we should hate him or admire him. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Quinn Law. I'm here from the Bryan University Democrats. I don't have anything written because I just came from our general meeting. I'd just like to pass along some of the words from our members because we do have members that live in the Smithfield community, and we have a lot of students and members at Bryan University that are involved in the Smithfield community in regarding community service and the schools and everything. First off, I would just like to say everything I'm passing along from my organization. To be perfectly frank, we thought this was fake news when we first saw it. We don't think that a town council has any business speaking on national issues in this way. We think, we just like to say that Mr. Beergard, we recognize that you're you're an ex-state police officer, and we respect all the police officers in the Smithfield and North Smithfield community. I'm also an athlete. I play on the football team at Bryan University, and we do have retired state troopers on our staff, and I have nothing but respect for the sacrifices that they've made and putting their lives on the line every single day. But one thing I can't seem to wrap my head around is why you can't have respect for police officers but still recognize the issues that are going on in our country. I really believe that the First Amendment is something, and my club believes the same thing. Like I said, we had a meeting at 5 o'clock to talk about this meeting tonight. We don't understand how, the First Amendment's the First Amendment for a reason, and I think it should be protected at all costs. And not everyone in my club agrees with what Colin Kaepernick says or does, but we also agree that anyone should have the right to speak on something if they believe that something is wrong. Sacrificing everything, we also saw that you mentioned in the article that we had a problem with that tagline. We also think that no offense at all, but we think that you have no place to say what someone's sacrifice was. The person before me was very right in the fact that Colin Kaepernick gave up a lot. In your eyes, it might not be everything, but as an athlete, there's people on my team that spent their whole life working to get to where Colin Kaepernick would be. Blood, sweat, tears, and hours of their lives to work and work and work and get to that level, and they might never do that. But he gave up that to be a martyr for what he believed in. And yeah, he has his Nike contract now, and yeah, he's standing up for that. But still, I had no disrespect to the soldiers or officers that died in line of duty because they sacrificed everything too. But, we just all recognize that everyone sacrifices to their own. That's something that we believe you also have to recognize. We'd also like to point out that In 1968, John Carlos raised his black power fist at the Olympics and had his medal stripped from him for raising that and causing tremendous political controversy. History is repeating itself. We urge North Smithfield Town Council to vote against this resolution and realize that, just like John Carlos, we look back on John Carlos as someone that's protesting for what they believe in, and it might look ridiculous that he was punished and stripped of a medal for raising his fist after he won. It's pretty ridiculous that Colin Kaepernick was blackballed by the NFL for kneeling for what he believes in. And I'm going to end with that. Thank you.
Erin Huntley, 746 Black Table Road, 20-year resident of the town. I'm here tonight to strongly oppose the Nike resolution. I love my country. I love my town. I love my family members, some of whom now are buried at Saratoga National Veterans Cemetery. I also cherish the principles of equality, empathy, recognition of racial injustices, and an understanding that people in my community may have had vastly different life experiences than my own. Let me be perfectly clear. The Nike resolution that you are proposing is based on thinly veiled racist ideology. This is not about flags or country or respect for the men and women in uniform. If you pass this proposal, you, the town council, are telling the rest of the state that North Smithfield is closed for business. You are telling the rest of the world that you're intolerant of other viewpoints. You are saying that if one dares protest racial injustice in a way that you don't approve of, that you won't listen. And you are saying that the ideals of patriotism and love of country are so fragile that you have to implement a town policy about sneaker products to protect it. In addition to living in this community, I work in the North Smithfield School Department. I see 1,700 amazing children in the halls every day. Some of them are here tonight. My son is a sophomore in the high school. But these students do not all look alike. They do not all have identical experiences or backgrounds, so you can't insulate them with a sneaker policy or prevent them from participating in a world full of differing ideas and perspectives. So I ask you, change the narrative. Change the message that North Smithfield is sending our kids in our community, and by now the whole country, since this story has gone national. Be a town that says, yes, we are open for business. We are open to different ideas and perspectives. Show that we value diversity and individual expression. Be the town council that stands up and refuses to make government resolutions based on an ideology of intolerance. Be the town council that says to all our community members, we hear you, and we may not agree, but we will respect your point of view. North Smithfield is a town with 24.7 beautiful square miles. So, as elected officials, please, do your job to ensure that in North Smithfield, there is no room within our border for intolerance.
Hello everybody, my name is Griffin Deck. I live at 69 Highview Ave, and I'm a sophomore at the high school. So first of all, I would just like to take a moment to thank Mr. Hoyle for his service. I just think that so frankly I'm confused. I don't understand why this is an issue. It's a shoe, it's a shirt. Like, why does that matter? This only became an issue when Colin Kaepernick did something that you guys don't politically agree with. That's fine, but why didn't you take this stance when, say, the kids in other countries who are being worked in sweatshops stayed every night and listen to sports? Whether or not you agree with Colin Kaepernick, that's fine, but you don't have to outlaw an entire brand just because he said some things, done some things you don't agree with. He's not hurting anybody. I mean, do you think people are burning their Nike shoes, burning their Nike clothes because they don't agree with what he said? that seems a lot more harmful than the peaceful protesting that he's doing. I can't wrap my head around that. So, that's pretty much all I have to say. I just wanted to add one more thing. You had a small typo on the resolution. You said that Nike's values do not reflect our values, and Nike should not financially benefit from our business. You left out a Y, it should have been your values. Yes, not ours.
High school-age daughters. As those have said before us, we know that Colin Kaepernick is standing up for racial equality and not against police, but against police brutality and racial injustice. To pass this resolution that suggests a ban of Nike products sends a message to my children, to all children, and as others have said, to the town, to the state, to the country, that you're against racial justice. So I ask, when I think of this, it's just like, how can we be against racial justice? And I want people, I wish we all could just look within our hearts and listen to Colin Kaepernick's call when we try to say